it's a pleasure to be here with you today, and let's go ahead and start with the questions. So before you joined KCP, what were you hoping to get out of the experience, and how do you feel like it ended up changing you?
Before joining KCP, I had kind of an intermediate level Japanese experience, but I heard that KCP had a very well-known reputation for elevating students' Japanese abilities, and so I was really hoping to take my Japanese language skills to the next level. What I got from KCP wasn't just language ability, of course. I really was able to elevate my Japanese skills, but I also gained a really amazing cultural experience and a lifelong connection with Japan and Tokyo. It feels like a second home to me now, so yeah.
Can you describe a moment in class when you really felt your Japanese skills click, or maybe a time when a teacher really helped you understand something?
The oral interviews that we did really helped me express my thoughts in kind of a deeper and more eloquent way in Japanese, and it really helped me kind of feel that immersion click. And there were also a lot of really, really helpful staff members that made me kind of finally get certain grammar points or certain vocabularies. In particular, Sato sensei was very helpful. She offers English support, and I really was able to connect with her in Japanese and English.
Can you tell us what part of your daily routine at KCP brought you the most joy or surprise?
I think without a doubt, I have to say, talking to people who I would have never been able to meet without going to KCP. I met so many different people from so many different countries and backgrounds with different experiences than me, but I think what was surprising about that was we're all so much more similar than we think we are, and we can get along really easily despite how different we are. And so just seeing them every single day and studying alongside people who had different experiences, but similar mentalities and passions about Japanese language was what always made my day.
Tell me about your housing or your homestay situation. What's a memory or moment that really stuck with you from that experience?
I lived in Nakano in a girls' dormitory, which is a little bit westward of Tokyo, and I really loved Nakano. It was just a really nice area, and there were a lot of things that I could do around the area, like Nakano Broadway, and it was a very close commute to Tokyo. And in my girls' dormitory, there was a girl that I met who was going to a different school than I was, but she was from Korea, and she didn't speak any English, and I didn't speak any Korean, and so we would just communicate using our Japanese, and we slowly got to know each other kind of over the course of my stay in Japan. And when I left, it was the day that I left, she brought me a bag full of Korean candies and gifts and food, which really was heartwarming for me.
Was there a cultural experience or encounter in Japan that completely changed how you see the world, or maybe how you see yourself?
Yeah, definitely. I think when I was living in Nakano, I had an experience at the train station where I was kind of going down the escalator, and I had a little omamori, like a protection charm, on my backpack, and it had broken and fallen off. And there was an elderly woman behind me on the escalator, and she tapped me on the shoulder, and I didn't really understand the cultural significance of omamori because I had only kind of interacted with it from sort of a tourist perspective. And so she had told me that it had fallen off, and as soon as I got off the escalator, she tied my shoe and explained to me the importance of it, and told me that I should, take care of myself, and that she was, hoping that I'd take care of my health and was looking out for me. And I think that kind of sense of community with someone that you don't know really was kind of shocking, and it really opened my eyes to how much of a beautiful place Japan is.
What's one way that the KCP staff made you feel seen, supported, or understood during your time abroad?
I had a lot of assistance from kind of the English ambassador. His name was Tanaka, and he was always so helpful and always willing to help out students when they had questions about not only school-related things, but just living abroad issues or anything like that, and he would always help me. And also just all of my teachers would always kind of just say, "Good morning, how are you?" Even if you didn't have class with them, they never made you feel ignored. They always made you feel welcome, and you kind of knew everybody after you had studied abroad there, and it was a really closely knit community.
Now, tell us, what was it like to build those relationships with other students in the program? Are there any friendships or memories that truly stand out to you?
Surprisingly enough, it was really easy for me to make friends in the program because everyone is kind of trying to reach the same goal, which is become more proficient with their Japanese language skills. And so despite, meeting people from China, meeting people from the UK, meeting people from Korea, we all kind of had that similar goal, and we were able to connect over that. I made a bunch of friends from China, and I have one kind of best friend from the UK, and we would always go out to izakayas and go out to restaurants together, even outside of school. And it was just a really nice experience where we encouraged each other to get better and to speak better Japanese, while also kind of encouraging each other to become better people and, to try to have fun every single day.
How has your experience at KCP shaped what you want to do next? So I'm talking school, work, or life.
I think with KCP, it really kind of opened my eyes to what it's like to live in Japan and, what it would be like to work in Japan. And I'm really excited to pursue new opportunities with my Japanese language skills that I gained from KCP. And, it opens so many different doors for me, education, translation, interpretation, so many different new kind of avenues that I can go through now.
If someone is thinking about joining KCP, what would you say to them, and what do you wish someone had told you before you went?
The best advice that I can give someone going to KCP is, it's kind of three things. It would be, be prepared from a language standpoint to run into some difficulties. It's pretty natural while living in a different country that you'll have trouble doing certain things that you normally think that you wouldn't in your home country. So like getting public transportation and stuff like that. Sometimes if you aren't as prepared, it can be a little bit more difficult. And so I would definitely try to study Japanese before coming to KCP, just a tiny bit. And also, I think this is more from a cultural point, but I think a lot of us before studying abroad, especially in Japan, have preconceptions about Japanese culture and what Japan is like, especially if you've been there, as a tourist. And so I think a piece of advice that I would give to someone who would want to go to KCP is try to go into Japan with an open mind and really be prepared, to try new things and try to spend every single day doing something new and doing something that you wouldn't be able to do in your home country. I think what I would have wanted to be told before going to Japan is something along the lines of try to do something new every single day. Try to challenge yourself in new ways. Go to a restaurant you've never been before. Go to a place that isn't on some sort of tourist thing. Try to, get out there and interact with, the real Japan, and try to meet new people and just push yourself to have as many new experiences as possible.